Alright, hello everyone, this is Benjamin. I'm just currently waiting for a challenge right now. So hopefully I'll get it very soon from my group. I'm messaging them now. So basically I'm gonna focus. I have like an opening report for white. For black I just usually use a perk or whatever. And I'm gonna primarily focus on undefended pieces. Is the main focus. And also besides that, it will be more or less like undefended pieces and candidate moves more than anything else. So okay, he wants to play the Italian. I mean, sure. Okay, so I just kind of asked him what he wanted to play, so hopefully he sends me a challenge. And alright, so should be kicking off pretty soon. So he says challenge is sent. I don't see anything here. I got a friend request. Oh, there's a challenge. I clicked on it. Okay, this is perfectly fine. Alright, you said Italian. I usually go for Evans Gambit. I'm not exactly sure if he wanted me to play Italian as white or not, or Evans Gambit, but so I'm gonna ask him really quick. Italian for me as white. Or is that next game? Or is that next game? So I can't go live yet until I get 1,000 subscribers. I'll say that every time until I get 1,000 subscribers. If he doesn't answer very soon, I'm just gonna have to just do whatever because I don't want to lose on time. Not that I have much time trouble, but let's see. I'll wait a few seconds. I think this is fine. Okay. So I'll just start with Evans Gambit. There's something I'm very familiar with. Everything I'm going to do is to attack. So that's pretty much. I think he wants to learn Italian, so I'm going to let him know. I play Evans a lot. It's very aggressive. So I like it. He's like a pawn for initiative. And I think it's pretty aggressive, and I just pretty much have to look for an attacking move pretty much almost every single move. Otherwise, I'm going to end up just like pretty much losing tempo or whatever and not doing very good. So that's pretty much it. So I just attack at the center from there. $649. I'm not sure what he was before. I know he was in 600s. I'm not sure if he gained any points or not yet. Hopefully, if not, very soon. But undefended pieces is the main thing that I'm going to try to focus on. I'm going to see if these things actually work. No, I can't right click again. I don't know why it does that to me sometimes. The right click works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to let's maybe take the mouse out and put it in the other slot maybe. Maybe it depends. Yeah, it's whatever. Okay. So now that he did that, I'm gonna have to get this ad out the way. I normally sometimes I capture and sometimes I castle. I like the idea of doing bishop over here. Oh, okay, well, I can't right click and I moved too soon. I don't know if that was the best move, but the idea of this is to prevent him from castling. So, well, that's not a very good move. I know I can go over here and take, and then he can take. And after that, I can use my knight to come into a call check. And then after the king goes back, I can bring my queen in. I believe if he was supposed to go to e8 and then I'm supposed to go queen over here. I believe that's the way to handle that. And that's why this is bad. So I'm going to go ahead and just start. Always play super aggressive with this opening. I really hate that I have arrows because I could show you multiple variations instead of just one. All he can do is capture. That's all he can do. So I can just pre-move. He has no other moves possible. Okay. I think he has to go to e8. I believe everything else, if I remember correctly, was forced checkmate. Even though I don't remember all the moves, I would just have to look for it. And this would be a great instructive time with arrows. And I'm really annoyed that the arrows aren't working. Let me see. No. Maybe that would help. Nope. It's so random. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know why. Okay, e8 is the best move here. So he did play it. And then my job is to go over here and call it check. And just be super ultra aggressive. He doesn't really have much to do. Yeah, that knight move right here, you definitely don't want to do that with the bishop here early on. Because everything here is pretty much attackable and covered. Oh yes, yes I am. My arrows are not working. So, which kind of sucks because it's difficult to be so instructive without it. Now, here, the best move would be just to take here. And after I take here, he's supposed to attack my queen. If I take here and he takes back, that would be checkmate. He has nowhere else to go. So let's see if he sees checkmate or not. If he takes it this way, this is checkmate. Yeah, I remember seeing this, and this is really bad with bishop a3. Normally I take here or castle. I accidentally moved here, even because this isn't really the best move in this situation. I like to first set things up, but actually, now that I think about it, for this group, that's probably will be best thing for them to learn, actually. Under 1,000, to just put the bishop here in that situation. Because a lot of people probably will do this to attack, you know? And if they learn the checkmates, then that would be really good for them. So, I'm just going to have to call a check and get him out the way. He doesn't really have many options. So, obviously, king f7, and then I can just take his rook and call it check. Yeah, but yeah, it's just overall really bad in the opening to do that, to play the knight over here just to play it. Like, it is very useful many times, but it's not useful all the time. So I'm just gonna call check and keep up the attack going. Make his king come out here. Alright. So usually the pawns come in at some point. I'm not entirely sure the best way to do my pawns. I'm thinking h4 is usually pretty common. Let me see something. If I click on it, okay, nothing happens when I click on stuff. Okay, so h4 is usually pretty common. f4 is, e5 might be okay. Not entirely sure, like I said, which is better and why. That part I haven't really learned. So I like h4, so I'm gonna go ahead with that. But I like f4 too. I feel like I'm missing something. With f4 and then e5, I can actually bring my queen in. With h4, e5, I can also bring my queen in too. I'm gonna go h4, just because the rook is supporting it. Like I said, in this situation, I didn't remember all the details because there's just so many lines. I know I should be focused mostly on tactics at my level, but I've been learning a lot of little stuff because I'm pretty good at memory, but I can't cram. So I gotta learn as I go with everything. So I'll learn a little bit here and there on purpose, and then also do tactics, and as I get better, obviously do more. So now if I take and he takes, my queen can go here and creating a battery this way, and my bishop can help out also. That's kind of what I'm thinking about, just moving up and getting rid of a pawn. He can take it, and me come down here threatening. He's gonna have to move this knight, or it's gonna be for free. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Clear some way, allow my rook to come into the game. That's kind of the point h4 to get my rook involved. That's why I chose that over f4. Okay, he decided to move out the way. King can't move here. The king can't go here. The king can't capture. The king is restricted to this square only. I can't take this. Move that the way. Now, if I had f4 instead of h4, I would be able to come here. But I have bishop c1. That's game. I have two blunders. He wants a rematch. Okay, I can accept it. I'll look at the blunders later. I cannot accept this challenge at the moment. I don't see why. Good game. Okay. So I think he wanted to play Evans as white, I believe, is what he wanted to do. Not Evans, the Italian. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that. I think this is what he was going for. I never really play this opening, so I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say a little bit, I'm a lot out of what I normally play. I usually play the perk, is what I like to play. So I'm not entirely sure. I believe this is normal here. So let's see. This looks very normal. So I'm gonna go off that, attacking this pawn. Alright, and this is very normal. Okay, so I can at least click on stuff a tiny bit, even though it's not working the way I like it. So I'm not entirely sure what to do, so I'm gonna castle. It looks pretty safe. So I'm just gonna play safe moves, don't let anything hanging, and play normal chess, I guess. Look for candidate moves, or if I can. So, let's see how this works. Without arrows, it's going to be difficult to explain, though. Okay, so rook e8 looks nice. This blocks off the attack from the bishop. Rook e8 looks nice, develops some piece. This looks okay to push. This just supports to bring the bishop out. So d6, h6, rook e1. They all look pretty good. Out of the best, I like d6 because it gives me the option to come out and attack. But because he's coming this way, I like the idea of a5 preventing the bishop from coming here and giving my bishop some room. So I think giving myself more mobility and more movement is better. I might even d6 is also another move to come out. I'm not too worried about him attacking here because I can easily just push this up and have him go back. If I have to go here, I will. Not really too worried about it. Alright, so alright. Moves look pretty well. This looks kind of weird though. I don't know if that's good or not. I just know it looks weird. But weird isn't always bad. Now I can move this up like I planned earlier to d6 so my bishop can have movement. I was going to prevent him. I'm going to just prevent him from doing stuff and see if he leaves anything hanging instead of making a huge plan for myself. Last game I kept doing a lot of attacking and doing a lot. This time I don't feel like doing that. I actually feel like just keeping everything covered and being very simple. Now he undefended this pawn right here, so this pawn I can probably take it. But if I take it and he takes this pawn, I can take this pawn. So I would still get a free pawn, but I'll be pretty deep in there. I don't know how safe that is. I take, he takes, I go over here, take, threatening the queen. I like this. It kind of messes everything up. It's not defended. So kind of with a free pawn, maybe, maybe not. Because if I go over here, he threatens it with the queen, let's say, and I move back, he can take it, I take, he takes, which means it's not going to be a free pawn. But it actually opens everything up. So, and it goes with being undefended. So this is undefended, and it allows a whole lot of stuff happen. So this probably wasn't a bad move entirely, because you can get the piece back, the pawn back, but definitely undefended, so I had to go for it. I think just to keep up with what I'm doing is I should probably just take here. D5 looks okay too. I'm threatening the bishop, forcing the bishop to move somewhere and gaining space and activating this bishop. So I'll be activating the bishop and attacking at the same time. I don't know if I want to take here. So I'm just gonna go ahead with this first and just take the pawn because it's not defended. So I'm gonna stick with that theme. It's undefended stuff, pieces, pawns. I think I should Google why does my right click not work on my mouse, because I wonder if there's a reason. Alright, so he's attacking my knight, which is undefended. was thinking about going back here. I feel like there's a lot going on right now. Knight to b5 I think might be okay. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now I'll pre-capture, because if he takes, I'll just take back. Why does my right click not work? Alright, so he did capture. Since I'm up a pawn, I'm just gonna continue capturing. Everything looks pretty well defended. One says turn off tablet mode is one of the reasons. I don't know what tablet mode is, but I'm on the PC. I'm going to look that up. I don't understand why I have that issue sometimes after the kids have the laptop, so definitely going to have to figure that out. Alright, now I can take. But I don't like it too much. I don't like it. So I have a free pawn though. So let's just go ahead and do that with the undefended pieces or pawns. That was undefended. Okay. Threatening my knight. Now we can trade. I'll take this here. It'll open up my rook, so I like it. So trading while opening up a piece of mine. I'm threatening this rook, so if he takes here, I can just take his rook. So he should take here, and then I can move my knight back. So this gave me a small opportunity to get more material, only if he messes up. But if he plays proper and just takes, then I can just, well, now I really don't see a point in going here. I can defend it with c5, but if he moves this up, I'm not sure where to go, because my pawn would be pretty misplaced. So for that reason, let's go knight to, yeah, I think, that's weird. How do you get in the basement? Alright. Okay, so I don't like c5 too much because of this move. I don't like moving back too much because the knight can just take. But then I'll have a couple pawns. I actually can capture this way and have a lot of center pawns, which might be okay. So I'm going to pre-move this in case he does capture it. My time is not really the greatest. Okay. Looks like he's trying to attack something. I'm not entirely sure. He's looking to sack a minor piece for 2 pawns, possibly. I can ignore that and just develop. So I'm gonna just develop. Get my bishop in the game. It's really not really a threat. It's just gonna open stuff up, but all he has is the queen left and 2 rooks. And that wouldn't be very good for him. Oh, that's right. He'll keep one of his minor pieces, which if he did that too. But it'll still be fine. Okay. I figured he'd do that. So I would just take. Okay, he takes. I'm trying to think about this fully. You know what? I'm gonna defend a tiny bit. I was thinking of just moving this out the way, but then his queen can go over here and call it check. And I didn't have much of a defense. Like, if I, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty risky, so I think I had to go here. Yeah, that's something that I missed, but I'm glad that, I think I missed earlier, but I'm glad I seen it this time, so it wasn't much of a big deal. So I knew he was coming in for an attack, and I didn't really think it was much of an issue, so I kind of just moved, and I'm glad it wasn't really much of an issue in general, but I'll just pre-move in case he wants to capture. I don't see why he would want to give up his attacking piece. Okay, so he takes the rook. I'll just take the queen because that's his attacking piece, and then I'll take his bishop. So now it's 2 minor pieces and a major piece versus those. So I'm guessing I'll just move here, attack his rook. Okay, and I'll just develop. I move pretty fast now. And develop this way. He might come in with his pawns, so I might have to move my king over. Or I can just actually just take this here. Be fine. I can actually move my bishop here as well, because I'll be attacking the rook. I mean, you can maybe exchange something. Yeah, I can just go here. Attacking his rook. It's defended by my knight, so it's fine. Okay, I can call check. That's a fork. Now this is still under attack by 2 pieces now, and this is under attack as well. Not really much anywhere he can go. Yeah. I'll take with the rook. Maybe come up the bishop this way. I'm trying to coordinate my pieces pretty well. That's fine. Not worried about it. before I get, that's my last words before I get checkmated. Oh, that's fine. Checkmate. But no, it wasn't fine at all. And earlier I almost messed up pretty bad. But I had a resource with a queen who went over here. I got lucky I seen that move that was possible. Still wondering about the blunders in the Evans Gambit game. I thought I played extremely well. He actually could have taken here. So I'm going to call check. Oh, he can take it actually, and I can take it, and then he can take this, which would be bad for me. And I have to run my pawns up and hope for a queen. Well, not hope, but play for a queen. I have enough here to actually get that taken care of, so yeah, I guess that's fine. I'll just get this one started. And go over one. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he won't be able to catch up, especially as he move down. Well, I probably shouldn't pre-move. Yeah, I should pre-move because if he goes down, check, that'll be fine. Okay, that's a good game. Okay, I'm still curious about the other one, but good game. I think that should be it. I'm a little curious about my other game though. I really am. So let me see how to go back to my other game. Where's my home? Where do I see my games at? I usually go on the I usually check my games on my app. So I'm a little confused, but I'll figure it out right now. Maybe profile. Where's my last? Nope. Home. Stats, maybe. Let's see. Rapid. Will it show my games? Yes, it will. This is the one I really want to know how I messed this one up. So I had 2 blunders. Now it's saying 1. So analyze. So review. Start review. 1 loss. Yeah, I know I usually win. You play this with a 60%. Yeah, I know I usually do super well with this opening. So that's pretty much, yeah, the main move here I think is this castle. No? Main? That's the material he's talking about I should win? No? That's really weird. This way? Okay, so retry. I'm just gonna let him. So I'm supposed to deal with that. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, I got a brilliant move. That's nice. So what's next? H4 is a blunder. That's weird. Well, Yeah, it was the only good move that was possible. It's a check. Alright, so next. Okay. I don't understand how he's a brilliance. There's only one good move and I found it, which that's why. Okay, that's why I found it. It's the only one that was available. Alright. Maybe that's why it was a blunder. Maybe that was another good move that I missed. My other move I wanted to do was F4 is what I wanted to do. So let's see. Okay, that was the only good move. I was looking at both of these because I wanted to attack the king. I prefer this one only because it helped out with the rook. So doesn't make any sense. And checkmate. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this thing. Does this say I have 4 brilliant moves? Where's it start at? There. 1 brilliant. Okay, 1 brilliant and 3 great. Okay. I thought it was giving me 4 brilliants, and I'm like, I don't understand because I barely ever get 1. Well, this isn't an accuracy, but you see that after this move here is played, this is what to do, and it's considered brilliant. He takes, you call it check. There's not much he can do. I believe almost everything is checkmate. He goes here, you take. He can't take back because this would be checkmate. Just so you know, that would be checkmate. So he did do good by noticing that. Alright, and that's all. Yeah, I love the Evans because it's super aggressive, and as long as you find a move to attack, you're pretty much going to be winning no matter what. If you can find a way to attack like early on and just keep on the pressure. Like, of course you can say that about any opening, but in this opening it's usually pretty easy to find. I mean, for me, I have a pretty good win rate with it. So, alright. You just learn some basics of it and some basic lines and how they work, and then practice your tactics and combine them together, and you should be doing well. So, alright.